Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Rebel Cap celebration. Woo! My name is Musa Pam, and I have the honor and pleasure of serving as the Associate Vice President for Facilities Management at UNLV. I'm delighted to be here to share progress on our Rebel Cap Climate Action Plan. I'm joined by my colleague, Tara Pike. She's UNLV's Sustainability Coordinator and the Recycling Manager, and the co-lead on this project with me. Both Zachary Billett and Andy Davis represented the student perspective on this journey, and together, the four of us form the Rebel Cap core team. We're going to begin with a land acknowledgement, which is apropos because we're here talking about the climate and the environment today.
The University of Nevada, Las Vegas wishes to acknowledge and honor the indigenous communities of this region and recognize that the university is situated on the traditional homelands of the Nuwuvi Southern Paiute people. We offer gratitude for the land itself, for those who have been stewarding it for generations, and for the opportunity to study, learn, work, and be in community with this land. We encourage everyone in the UNLV community to engage in continued learning about the indigenous peoples who work and live on this land since time immemorial, including the Las Vegas Paiute tribe and the Mawapa Band of Paiutes, and about the historical and present realities of colonialism. As one of the most diverse universities in the United States, UNLV believes it is important to recognize and appreciate the use of Southern Paiute land as part of its mission to be a welcoming and inclusive place for working and learning.
Today we'll be giving an overview of a plan. We're going to start with notes from our senior leadership, followed by an outline of our greenhouse gas emissions impact and how our Rebel Cap will address these items. Then we'll move on to a panel discussion, and then we'll wrap up with closing remarks. At the end of the show, please feel free to stay back and enjoy some refreshments along with interactions that we invite you to do with our working group tables. I'd like to introduce Dr. Keith Whitfield. Dr. Whitfield is a seasoned university administrator and prolific scholar in the fields of psychology, health, and aging. He became UNLV's 11th president on August 24th, 2020. He previously served as provost, senior vice president of academic affairs, and professor of psychology at Wayne State University in Michigan. There, he was responsible for faculty hiring, promotion, and tenure, and budget and policies for faculty and staff. He also oversaw student affairs, including student success, curriculum, and housing. Under his leadership, the university achieved remarkable gains in its graduation rate, increased overall enrollment, launched an innovation and entrepreneurship hub, and strengthened multiple business and philanthropic relationships. An active administrator and researcher, Dr. Whitfield has authored or co-authored over 200 publications and has earned nearly $20 million in funding from agencies including National Institutes of Health, National Institute on Aging, and the National Science Foundation. A psychologist and expert on the social, psychological, and cultural factors of cognition and healthy aging, Dr. Whitfield's current research focuses on the relationships between stress and longevity in African American families. He's a member of the NIA's National Advisory Council on Aging, and he has served on committees for the National Academies of Sciences and Medicine and the National Institutes of Health. Prior to Wayne State, Dr. Whitfield served as Vice Provost for Academic Affairs at Duke University and held appointments as a professor in the Department of Psychology and Neuroscience, a research professor in the Department of Geriatric Medicine at Duke University Medical Center, and a senior fellow at the Center for the Study of Aging and Human Development. He also was co-director of the Center on biobehavioral health disparities research. He is the first African-American president in UNLV's history and oversees a university with now more than 32,000 students and 4,000 full-time employees. He has worked in higher education for more than 3 decades and has received numerous national awards and honors throughout his career. He earned a bachelor's degree in psychology from the College of Santa Fe, a PhD in lifespan developmental psychology from Texas Tech University, and completed postdoctoral training in quantitative genetics from the University of Colorado Boulder.
Hello, and welcome to the launch of UNLV's Climate Action Plan, Rebel Cap. I'm Keith Whitfield, UNLV President, and I wish I could be there with you today, but I've got to say I'm proud of the incredible work that our faculty, staff, students, and others have contributed to getting to where we are today. The Rebel Cap covers all aspects of university life, including academics, research, and operations, and UNLV is the first NG institution to launch a climate action plan. As you'll hear today, the plan outlines strategies to reach our 100 by 100 goal, which is to become 100% carbon neutral by UNLV's 100th anniversary. This includes minimizing emissions from energy use and transportation, reducing waste, and conserving water. To get there will require engagement from the campus community and partnerships with local organizations. What we do through this initiative will have positive impacts on UNLV and our region for years to come. We're leading by example, which is what an R1 university like UNLV is supposed to be doing. So thanks for all that you've done to get us to this point, and go Rebels.
Yes. Now, I've had the honor of being at UNLV for just over 3 years now, and I also have the honor of leading 300 very dedicated and hardworking professionals in our facilities management department. Just shortly after my arrival in 2021, obviously we're in the midst of COVID, and we were meeting regularly with university leadership, so I had the opportunity to attend quite a few emergency preparedness meetings with Provost-TV. But the very first real meeting that I attended with the provost was when he ferried my counterpart, David Fromer, and I to the Bellagio Hotel to talk about water conservation and UNLV's intent to be a leader in this area. And right there and then I knew that he is someone who's very, very dedicated and supportive of climate action and making an impact in our region. So may I please introduce Provost Christopher L. Heavey.
Well, thank you, Musa. It's been always a pleasure to work with you, and I do remember that day that I almost killed Musa and Dave Fromer because they got me so involved in talking that I wasn't paying attention to my driving. So I'm glad we're all safe today. It's a pleasure to be here with you this afternoon to just say a few words of welcome and hit a few highlights about what's happening at UNLV over the history of the university in this climate action space. And when I think about universities, I think that universities are fundamentally about building the future. And so thinking about climate and having a climate action plan makes perfect sense. Because if we're going to build the future, we need to care about the future and care about the world that we're going to leave behind to the next generation. So I want to start by just mentioning a few of my guests who are in the audience here. Really a pleasure to have Commissioner Michael Natt from District A, and I'm going to get to introduce him right after I'm done. And we have Assemblywoman Cynthia Moore also joining us today, and I think she's here somewhere. So as you know, as a research university, we're about innovation. And so this climate action is something that obviously needs innovation. And we do have a history of both being innovators and leaders in this space over quite a long period of time. When I got here in 1992 and had a full head of hair, we had a student not long after that who's now one of our longtime employees, Tara Pike, who in 1995 started thinking about climate action and did this work as her senior thesis and has been with us for the last 27 years at least, really being a leader in this space. And I know you're going to hear from Tara today, and we're so proud to have her as a member of our team. So let's definitely acknowledge her. longstanding leadership in this space. We also have a lot of professors who are doing work relevant to climate action because, as we said, and we all know, innovation is going to be needed. Allison Sloat, who you can hear from in a little bit, really brought this point home to me when I met her maybe 8 years ago or a long time ago, and she said, if we don't decouple economic growth from energy consumption, we're just going to cook the planet. And I was like, whoa, I had never thought about that before. And so she's been thinking about it for a long time, and she's going to talk about some of the amazing stuff that she's doing. But we do have faculty who think about that problem and think about what innovation looks like. And I just want to mention a few examples, like Stephen Lehman, who's a professor in our School of Architecture, who's looking at how to build cities that are more resilient to global warming. And obviously trying to counteract the heat island effect, which everyone in Las Vegas is very familiar with. And that's the kind of innovation that we're going to need. We also have a professor recently, Jeremy Cho, who's been in the news a lot for figuring out how to harvest water from the air. And that is the kind of thing, because we know that fresh water is going to be a key part of the sustainability of this community and so many parts of the world that are struggling with that. And he's done that innovation, and he's also shown the other parts of the university, because he's worked with the Blackfire Innovation Hub to try to start a company. He co-founded a company to try to turn that innovation into a scalable product that's going to be useful through so many arid regions of the world. So those are the kind of innovations, and there's many more that we won't go through today, but that research universities are proud of and are going to be critical to our future. And as I mentioned, one of the other early leaders in this space besides Tara is Dr. Allison Sloat, who went out and got a $5 million grant from the U.S. Department of Agriculture to look at trying to create more climate equity by planting trees. And she's going to give a long talk, or the keynote today, on the work that she's doing, and we're just so proud of her. Allison does everything on campus, and so if there's a thing that's of value to this community, Allison is right there doing it. And so we're so proud of that. We're also trying to kind of walk the walk, and so since 1985, we've reduced our water use by 25% on this campus. Since 1998, I'm sorry, by removing 1.3 million square feet of turf, because we all know that turf is one of the biggest water users in Las Vegas. We also are trying to become more energy sustainable by putting in solar panels, and we started that in 2013, and now on a daily basis, we're generating almost 4,000 kilowatts of renewable energy, which is basically worth about 3 metric tons of carbon dioxide per day that we're saving through that. It's about the equivalent of 7,000 miles of driving in a gas car that we're saving every day with that. We also have 24 electric vehicle charging stations. I was out with a friend coming back from lunch the other day who needed to charge her electric car, and she was looking at the stations across campus to see where they're available, and we're going to double that up to 48 electric vehicle charging stations in the not too distant future. We're also using LED lights and reducing the amount of energy that we've used by about 36% by more efficient lighting. And so these are just a few of the examples of how we've tried to kind of live this climate plan in our daily lives, but this now is a new milestone of having a full climate action plan for the campus. And so we're so proud and thankful for the people who did this work to make sure that we had a coherent vision of how to create a fully sustainable campus and to propagate those ideas out into the broader community. And some of that is going to involve building more curriculum on sustainability, and as a university, we're really good at that, and so we will definitely be adding to our curriculum to teach people about both how to implement sustainability and what innovation looks like in that space. And so basically, we as a campus say, Rebels make it happen, and we're so proud that we are making it happen in this space. And as Musa already said, as the first campus in the NSHE system that has a climate action plan. So we're proud of what we're doing, and we're delighted to be here with you today. And now it's my great pleasure to hand the microphone off to Commissioner Michael Naft, He serves in the Clark County Commission since 2019. He's also a member of the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, Board of Directors, the County Debt Management Commission, and the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Fiscal Affairs. And so if you know anything about local politics, the County Commission is where things happen that are really fundamental to this community. And we're so proud to have Michael Naft as one of our representatives there, because we know that he is trying to live and promote these values every day in his daily work. So please join me in welcoming Commissioner Naft.
Thank you, Dr. Heavey. It's quite humbling to be introduced by someone who I have so much respect and admiration for and who I've known for so long. Your work on this campus is really incredible. It's inspiring, and the issues that you choose to care about are issues that I hold dear, so I thank you for that. And I'm not just saying that because he's a constituent of District A, but because he is somebody who, by reputation, you all know has those attributes. I also want to acknowledge Musa and Tara. Tara, you don't know this about me, but I too have admiration for you as somebody who spent a lot of time on this campus. I also, in my early years here, worked for the Nevada Conservation League, and in that role, I know you've referenced this before, the kind of slogan used to be, oh, Tara's doing it when it comes to recycling or when it comes to sustainability. And yes, that's true, but my goodness, how good it feels to have a room like this filled with people who you've inspired to step up and be part of the solution, not just here on campus, but across this valley and in our entire world. Congratulations on all you've done to get us to this point. Much like the campus is a entire city being run here when it comes to sustainability. Clark County, which has over 500 buildings from Bunkerville to Laughlin and everything in between, from over 700 vehicles in our fleet, has to make sure that every single department within our organization, all 39 of them, have a role in ensuring our sustainability efforts moving forward. And somebody who has been integral to that role is Olivia Burns here in the front row. Could you just, I know we'll hear from you in a little bit, but Olivia is an incredible part of the Clark County family and has dedicated herself to making sure that a lot of the policies that I get to talk about in forums like this one and to brag about are implemented by her and her team under the leadership of Marcy Henson. Our Department of Environment and Sustainability does an extraordinary job for this entire community. And among those things that they have implemented since 2019, really, when Clark County first signed on to the County Climate Coalition, essentially pledging our commitment to the UN's Paris Climate Agreement, that really kick-started a whole series of events within the Clark County government. Some of which I think was important that we have an introspective look. We look inward. I mentioned that big fleet of vehicles that we have, and I mentioned all those buildings that we have over many, many, many years of development, making sure that we were looking inward at what we can do better through the Sustainability Action Plan for County Operations that was approved by my board in 2021, and it addressed climate change contributors within the county government itself, making sure that we're focusing on areas of clean and reliable energy, resilient county operations, smart waste management reduction, sustainable transportation, water conservation and protection, and my goodness, there's a lot of work to be done. We also then felt comfortable looking externally to the outside of the county. As a lot of you in this room know, we are both the regional service provider for 2.5 million people, everything from safety net issues to water to hospital, and we own 5 airports. So how can we, both within county operations and then externally, as the city government for over 1 million people who rely on the 7,800-mile lanes of roads that we manage, how can we make sure that the policies that we're implementing are ones that really demonstrate our values and our commitment to sustainability? That was primarily done through the county's Community Sustainability Climate Action Plan, centered around this idea of all in Clark County, which a lot of you contributed to and were part of through the many, many painstaking hours. Sorry, I probably shouldn't say it quite that way, painstaking hours. But the public input process that really is what created the policy at the end, making sure it was something that both contained the values that we hold dear, but also could be functional, could be implemented, and could be realized by this entire valley. So we are, as the proud local government for the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and for your local government, for all of Southern Nevada, we're your proud partner in this fight to make our communities more sustainable, more environmentally friendly, because we see that not just as the right thing to do, but also as the prudent fiscal move, saving taxpayers money, ensuring that we have a future economic outlook that is strong and positive. All of that centers around the work that you are doing here. So I thank you and I congratulate you, and particularly note those within the university campus who prioritize this work every day. Thank you for having me.
Now, I would never be one to correct the provost, but I'd like to introduce Ms. Cynthia Moore, who hopes to become the assembly person for District 11. Please welcome.
Thank you for that introduction, and thank you, everyone. My name is Cynthia Moore. Thank you, Musa, Provost, and Tara for putting this together today. I'm honored to stand here before you as a former rebel and a climate leader. I first heard about the climate action plan being created from UNLV over a year ago. I think they were in the beginning stages, and I was just so excited because I had never heard of an NC institution taking that step. Las Vegas is one of the fastest warming cities in the country, and it's no secret to all of us that live in Las Vegas that we are facing a major drought. The urban heat island was mentioned earlier. It's important for us to do what we can to make sure that our future is sustainable and that we continue to grow in a smart, sustainable way. I'm really excited to be here and learn more about what this climate action plan is and seeing how we can all work together. I have dedicated my life to climate action, and I have seen the profound impacts of climate change on our environment, our health, and our communities. It's not just an abstract concept, it's a reality that affects every way of life, especially for those of us that live in the frontline communities like East Las Vegas or the urban core, where because of the urban heat island, we can experience weather that can be 10 to 12 degrees hotter. It can be the official temperature at the airport can read 120 degrees, but because in the urban core, especially in the urban heat island, it can be 130 degrees. It's disheartening to see what some of our communities in Las Vegas have to face because of climate change. But I'm excited to learn more about what this climate action plan will do. I know it's not just a plan, and it's a set of goals, that it's a bold statement that UNLV is ready to take the lead by example to all the rest of the NC institutions. It's a commitment to reducing our carbon footprint, promoting renewable energy, and integrating sustainability into every aspect of campus life. But beyond that, it's a promise to our students, our community, and future generations that we will do everything in our power to protect the planet that we live in, and especially the community that we live. I'm proud of UNLV for taking these bold steps, and as someone that once sat in these seats and now stands before you as a climate leader, I know the impact we can have when we come together with a shared vision. This climate action is more than a document, it's a movement, and I'm excited to see where it takes us, and I hope to be part of it and be helpful as much as I possibly can. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. Now, those of you who know me personally know that I'm of Nigerian extraction. So my sister-in-law recently reminded me of a saying we have in Nigeria, which is, don't wait until I'm dead before you say nice things about me. And so You know how people usually wait until the end of an event to thank everyone who had something to do with it? I'd like to do that now, if you would indulge me, please. So we began this journey about 3 years ago, some people about 30-something years ago. So if you have had anything at all to do with building the Rebel Action Plan, whether you signed up for a survey, attended a working group meeting, participated in a panel discussion, wrote parts of the plan, if you bought swag, distributed swag, if you registered people at an event, if you had anything at all to do with the plan, please rise and be recognized. And if you're standing, please wave. And if you're online, please do your electronic wave thing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. And as another saying is, it takes a village to raise a child. And this plan has taken a village indeed. And that village typically has village heads. So you've heard from administration. There are 3 people I'd like to recognize. 2 of them are not here, but it's important to recognize all 3 of them are not here, but I'd like to publicly acknowledge and recognize them. The first is our former boss in business affairs, the Senior Vice President for Business Affairs and the CFO. We hope to see her sometime before the end of the event, but she is happily retired now, and that would be Ms. Jean Vach. Thank you, Jean, and we'll make sure you see the video. Jean, as the head of the infrastructure and governance working group of Top Tier, really helped mentor us and helped steward and shepherd this plan along. The second person is Dr. Kyle Kahlberg. He's the Executive Director for Strategic Initiatives in the President's Office. Kyle, as the co-lead of that infrastructure working group, really helped shepherd this plan to where it began from just a concept to where we're finally launching it today. So let's recognize Kyle, please. And the third, but certainly not least, is the current boss of business affairs. Vice President Casey Wyman couldn't be here today, but he has really taken the mantle from Jean, and he has embraced this plan all in, just like the Clark County plan, and he is carrying this ball forward, and he's going to bring it to the finish line. And we really appreciate Casey and his leadership. So thank you, Casey. Okay, it's my pleasure now to introduce Tara Pike, who's going to introduce our keynote speaker.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. And UNLV is really lucky to have Dr. Sloat. You know, I'm impressed with everything she's doing, and I'm happy that she's part of the UNLV team. She is a professor in residence in the College of Science who specializes in STEM teaching and learning, first-year seminars, community engagement, experiential learning, and geology. Her accolades include creating the Rebel Science Camp, a STEM outreach program for 5th graders, students enrolled in Title I elementary schools in the Clark County School District. And in 2023, she helped UNLV receive a $5 million grant from the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Forest Service to establish an urban forest initiative, which will add thousands of drought-tolerant trees, my favorite kind of trees, to our community. Dr. Sloat is part of the team leading that effort, and we are pleased to have her here today to tell us about this impactful initiative that she's overseeing. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Allison Sloat.
Good afternoon, everyone. There we go. So I'm going to talk about some solutions to climate change, but before we can talk about solutions, we have to talk about why we're doing this. So as other people have mentioned, Las Vegas has one of the worst urban heat island effects in the country. And a lot of that is because of all of our concrete and our lack of trees, but also because of anthropogenic climate change. 2023 was the hottest year on record, and this summer has been the hottest year for Las Vegas. This week we passed 100 days over 100 degrees for this summer. So this is one of the reasons why this climate action plan is so needed, but also why we are doing the work that we are doing in the community. We know that as we have started to emit more and more fossil fuels into the atmosphere, our temperature has increased. So that is what this graph is showing. So as CO2 levels increase, so do temperatures. So have you ever wondered why? Why, when we emit CO2 into the atmosphere, why does that absorb heat? So this is not just a lecture, this is interactive. So if you were born between January 1st and June 30th, you are carbon dioxide. If you were born between July 1st and December 31st, you are going to be methane. Okay? So the core of your body is carbon. For those of you who are CO2, your hands are oxygen. Okay? So for those of you who are CO2, hold up. Okay. For those of you who are methane, your hands and your feet are hydrogen. Your core is also carbon. Okay? So for those of you who are methane, you got to use your feet also. Okay. Okay, so if you were to go outside, where is your heat going to be absorbed by the sun? I'm July, so I got to do like this. Your arms and your legs are going to be absorbing all that heat. And that's what's happening to carbon dioxide and methane. The bonds are what are absorbing the heat from the sun, and they are vibrating and they are holding that heat. The problem with this is, those of you who are the CO2, you're going to live a really long time in the atmosphere. The residence time is up to 1,000 years. Whereas for methane, you actually are absorbing more heat because you have more bonds, but you don't last as long. I'm sorry, we're going to die soon. So this is why we're doing all these efforts to try to reduce how much carbon dioxide we are emitting into the atmosphere, because every single molecule that we are emitting, either burning coal or petroleum or all these other fossil fuels and natural gas, is lasting so long in the atmosphere. Nitrous oxide also lasts a long time, but we're not quite as concerned about that. We know that over the past 800,000 years, we can look at the CO2 levels from ice core data. We know that they have cycled up and down, up and down, up and down, but they have never been as high as they are today. So today, the level of CO2 in the atmosphere is 426 parts per million, whereas over the past 800,000 years, they haven't been over about 300 parts per million. So in addition to the rise of CO2, all of the other metrics follow that same pattern, and that's how we know that all of these impacts are from the rise of CO2 and from humans. So temperature is following that same slope of the line, that same path. We know that sea level is rising at that same rate because Antarctic and Greenland ice sheets are melting at that same rate. Arctic sea ice is also declining at that same rate. So this is why we are in so much need for climate action plans like this. The UN has all these climate goals, and so part of this action plan is to meet some of those climate goals. So we are trying to reduce our temperatures, or try to not reach this tipping point of 1.5 degrees Celsius by 2050. And that requires a lot of work. So that requires reducing our carbon emissions by 45% by 2030, or reaching peak emissions by 2030. What do you think? Think we're going to get there? Think we're going to reach peak carbon emissions by then? We'll see. It also requires that we be net zero by 2050. And one of the reasons I'm so in this, why I'm so passionate about this, is because the students I teach at UNLV are usually freshmen. I teach a lot of freshman classes. And the students who are entering college this semester will be mid-age and mid-career by this time. So they are the ones who are going to be mid-career working on these problems and dealing with these problems. And so how do we teach those students how to solve those problems? And how do we get people interested in pursuing these types of careers and these fields? And it's not just science. This requires so many different people who are going to be solving these problems, as you've heard today. So in addition to the urban heat island effect, you can see this. This is the map from RTC, where they've mapped the hottest parts of town. The darkest red areas are the hottest parts. And that also corresponds to low tree canopy cover. So the white areas, the really, really light green areas, are the areas that have the lowest tree canopy cover. It's usually about 2 to 4%. So the lowest tree canopy cover corresponds to high heat. And so this is also especially true. I do a lot of work in the schools. This is really true on playgrounds. That's really how I started getting involved with this, was looking at the temperatures that the students were measuring on their playgrounds. So this is on the top, this is elementary school. They have one tree, and it's a pine tree, and so it's probably not going to last very much longer. The bottom picture, that's William Moore Elementary School, and so they have very, very low tree canopy covers. When the students were making their s'mores in their solar ovens, they were measuring the surface temperature of their playground, and it was over 103. That was the air temperature, 103 underneath that little shade structure, because they don't have any trees. So this prompted this Las Vegas Urban Forest Center idea. And so last year we applied for the U.S. Forest Service Urban Canopy, or an Urban and Community Forestry grant, and we got it. And so this is a team effort from Phil Zwaris from Landscape Architecture, Dale Devitt from the Center for Urban Water Conservation, and also with the Nature Conservancy. So part of this effort is also workforce development. So this week, we welcomed our first cohort of our arborists in training, and they are sitting here in their green shirts. This is day 5. They will be trained for the next 6 months in how to become an arborist, and they are also going to be working around the city and planting trees. So it's been so much fun getting to know them. It's just, I'm so inspired by all of you. I love it. So we are going to be planting trees in these areas that are shaded gray. So these are underserved communities as defined by the Climate and Environmental Justice Screening Tool. And you can see that UNLV is in that little blue square there. So anywhere that is shaded gray, we are planting trees. Anyone live in any of these areas? Woohoo, you get a tree. If you're driving around town and you see, oh, they really need some trees, let us know, because that's how we are doing this program. If you know someone, if you know a school, if you know a business, we are allowed to plant on private land, commercial land. We're allowed to plant anywhere. It just has to be gray. It has to be in this gray zone. So we're planting 3,000 trees in the next 5 years, and we are, part of this also is workforce development. So we are training 45 arborists to take care of these trees in the years to come. So our first 5 are right here. They will be finished in February, and then we'll welcome the next cohort in late February. Part of this is also community engagement and community workshops. So as we are in the community and we are planting trees, we're also educating anyone who will listen about the impacts of trees and the benefits of trees and the impacts of climate change. All of the grants, so this is an Inflation Reduction Act. All of the money is from the Inflation Reduction Act. And collectively, the climate action grants that are funded by the IRA, it's estimated that they will reduce greenhouse gases by 40% by 2030. So when I said, do you think we're going to get there? That is the purpose of these grants. So planting trees is just one of those solutions to absorbing carbon. So it's not just reducing how much carbon we're emitting, it's also planting trees and using those trees to absorb a lot of that carbon. So we're trying to go from this completely covered with asphalt playground to this nice green leafy area. Here are some pictures of some other, the trees we're going to grow. These are currently located at the Center for Urban Water Conservation in North Las Vegas. And the ones on the right here, these are the ones that we are growing from seed. Alex here has been growing these all summer and has been protecting them from the rabbits, because the rabbits, it's tasty for the rabbits. So sometimes we wonder, do these efforts work? Do these efforts with community engagement, do they work? We're spending so much of our time trying to inspire younger people to take on these efforts, and I can tell you that they work, because on Wednesday, Caesar wave, on Wednesday, Caesar said, "I know I've met you." And so we were trying to figure out where he had met me before, and I was naming all the schools I've been to. He told me all the schools he had been to, and it just didn't match, and he said, I'll think of it. And then he said, "Oh, the museum. Have you taught at the museum?" And I said, "Yeah, I was the geologist of the day at the Natural History Museum, but that was a long time ago." And he said, "Yes, I was in first grade. I met you." So it works. These efforts work, and they make a difference in the community, because we are inspiring younger people and people everywhere to make a difference in the community and take action. And that's the point. So, are you ready to take action? Do you want to help us? Join us. So if you want to help us at any of these events, there's my email. The list gets longer and longer and longer for all the people who want to come help us. So thank you.
That was wonderful. Thank you. And this is about inspiring our college students and all of our future college students, because really this is, like she was saying, they're going to be 45 years old by the time we need to have reduced carbon emissions to make this planet livable. I always say, people always remember the Save the Planet, right? They always say, save the planet, save the planet. And I always say the planet is going to keep going around the sun. It's really about save the humans, and specifically the kids, right? So we are going to hopefully have a big impact on reducing carbon emissions through all our efforts here at UNLV. And for creating this climate action plan, we went through about a year-long process, and it was very comprehensive and extensive. The core team and the Sustainability Task Force were instrumental in organizing and engaging the entire UNLV community. At the start of the project, we had a Rebel Cap survey, which was launched to gather community perspectives on climate action solutions, and we received over 400 responses. According to our consulting firm, B&D, that was the most ever seen during a higher education climate action planning process. So that's very heartening to know that UNLV wants this climate action plan and wants to be involved in it, because it does take more than one person. It takes an entire village, like Musa said. The Sustainability Task Force organized 7 topical working groups, which was composed of over 60 faculty, staff, and students. Of those 60 people, we were representing 9 academic units and 5 administrative units within the working groups. We do have the tables around the perimeter here, and so if you're interested in joining a working group, they helped to build the recommendations for this plan, but the work continues, right? We're not just stopping at a document. This is going to be a living document. The working groups We developed 62 individual recommendations. These recommendations were then shared for public comment, and we received 140 responses on those recommendations. So we really tried to make this a community effort with a lot of engagement. And so it was very impressive to have that much engagement. Another thing that was really important to us was that we had a clear, the process was clear and had a lot of engagement in diversity, equity, and inclusion. We wanted to make sure that that was a core value in our plan and project because it is a core value here at UNLV. We were supported by our equity consultants, and the working groups intentionally identified equity priorities by topic area and reviewed each recommendation through an equity lens. A few examples include increasing access through an expanded bus route to UNLV, offering UNLV recycling benefits to low-income communities of color, and ensuring Rebel Cap outreach materials were multilingual. The planning team developed 5 guiding principles, which we are calling the charge. Number 1 is to eliminate emissions. Number 2 is to prioritize commitment. Number 3 is to leverage leadership. Number 4 is to illustrate partnership. Number 5 is to embed action. And all of these principles are important and embedded in the final plan, which we hope you will all take the time to read once we post it on the website. So in our limited time today, we're going to focus on how UNLV can eliminate emissions, and I think Musa is going to come over and go over all the wonky charts with you.
Yes, she knows me, wonky charts. So every village, if we stay with that theme, has a village mother. And Tara just made mention of the partners that we had in this process. Leading that effort as one of our partners was the firm of Brailsford and Dunleavy out of Washington, D.C. With us today in the back, as she proudly looks at her product and her baby, is the den mother, Jillian Buckholz. Thank you for all your work on this, Jillian. Thank you. So one slide back. So this is the wonky stuff. This is what represents UNLV's current greenhouse emissions picture. When you look at this graph, it represents historic and forecasted emissions in a business as usual scenario. What does business as usual mean? That's the flat horizontal line that says if you do nothing, that's where you're going to stay. We currently contribute about 98,000 MTCOE, metric tons of carbon dioxide equivalent into the atmosphere. By doing nothing, UNLV will continue to emit the equivalent emissions of 25,000 gasoline vehicles annually. So this chart is organized by 3 scopes of emission. So you're going to leave this room today and you'll be an expert on emission scopes. Scope 1, those are the direct emissions, such as those that come from the combustion of natural gas for our boilers, hot water heaters, and things like that. Scope 2 emissions are from purchased electricity. That is net of our solar-generated electricity, which you heard about from the provost. And then Scope 3 emissions, these are indirect emissions. They include transportation, travel, and waste. That dotted line shows the direction of the journey from the charge that roughly aligns with the global emissions reduction goals. For UNLV to lead on this effort, this goal line should should be representative of the floor of what our ambition is and not the ceiling. Looking at this data differently, the size of the box, next slide please, I have it. The size of this box correlates with the amount of emissions by source. As you can see, purchased electricity represents the largest source of GHG emissions at UNLV, followed by commuting, air travel, and the on-site burning of natural gas. Now, this graphic represents our roadmap. We talked about the working groups and their recommendations. We took the recommendations and we placed them onto an emissions reduction roadmap strategy. This roadmap is organized in 5 major themes. The column on the left and the associated recommendations on the right. In order to reach our carbon reduction goals, UNLV must focus on the efficiency and energy optimization. And I'm pleased to introduce also, in this effort, our energy engineer in facilities management, Tariq Zahid. Tariq, stand up and be recognized, please. Thank you, Tariq. So this focus on energy efficiency and optimization will also require, as a corollary, investment in renewable energy technologies and the electrification of equipment. UNLV will engage the full campus community in every effort possible, town and gown as it's referred to, as these recommendations are highly visible and support our academic mission. Now, looking at the roadmap over time, this chart shows the emissions reduction potential of each initiative that could be modeled. The initiatives with the largest impact include commuting and travel, and the travel is in green. Exploring renewable energy partnerships in orange, and formalizing and funding an energy efficiency program, which Tariq will live and breathe each and every day. That's in pink. Now onto our Rebel Cap, the actual document itself. You've heard about the extensive consultation that's happened with campus, staff, students, etc. With the leadership of the Sustainability Task Force, topic-specific working groups, multiple in-person events, and online surveys, the core team identified crucial first steps to successfully implement Rebel Cap based on the charge. UNLV's stated goal is to achieve carbon neutrality by 2057, as if you haven't heard that already. So 100 by 100, if you remember nothing else out of this event today. We intend to achieve carbon neutrality by 2057 with an initial goal, a medium-term goal, of 50% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions by the year 2030, which is only 6 years away. This will require immediate actions to meet the short-term goal, as well as some long-term sustained action from the entire institution. So, where do we start? We recommend the following 4 priorities. So cutting these into bite-sized pieces. Develop climate action plan programs where UNLV will need multiple programs to drive efficiency, expand renewable energy, manage data, and communicate progress. To do this, we will need to build an office of sustainability to orchestrate all of this work. This office will serve as a hub connecting operations with academics and establishing a culture of sustainability at UNLV. We will evolve capital planning, budgeting, and funding models. As you have probably realized, there is no other time in our history where we have had so much funding available from a federal, state, and local level to fund climate action-related projects. So at its core, climate action is, in fact, capital planning. I mentioned my 300 colleagues, many of them in the room today. One example of one of my colleagues who's going to be working on this and has been working on this plan since day one is Don Johnson. He oversees our trade staff. Don, wave, please. Right? So his staff have participated in really having this plan socialized. And what does it mean for the HVAC technician that we're going to be converting that boiler from a natural gas boiler to an electric boiler? His team is going to make that happen. As the provost said, rebels make it happen. There is money out there. We're going to take advantage of partnerships and address deferred maintenance to meet climate action goals. At this point, we're going to transition into a panel discussion with faculty, and I should add, thank you for your patience. So this last session here is what separates you from the opportunity to access some refreshments. So hang in there with us, please. We're almost there. If I could invite Dr. Ben Leffel to the stage, please. Dr. David James. And Dr. Hee-Jin Cho. Okay. So apologies, Dr. Cho had to go make sure that his students were not without him. So we will do the session with Dr. James and Dr. Leffel. So Tara and I will join Dr. James and Dr. Leffel on the stage. Welcome, Dr. James and Dr. Leffel. How are you?
Ready to go.
Great. First question, would you mind just talking about, from a faculty perspective, what kinds of impacts that the Climate Action Plan, Rebel Cap Climate Action Plan, might have on the university from a faculty standpoint?
Well, I've just gotten approved the UNLV's first corporate sustainability course, which will be offered in spring, and it's also a micro-credential, and it gives my students and future researchers and future leaders an opportunity to engage and get their hands dirty, or clean rather, with real-time data and building energy analytics, and to contribute and to see how it all works under the hood so that they can go out and replicate these good climate action plan models in other cities and states and companies.
Thank you, Dr. Leffel. Dr. James?
What I can see is what's already happening is an increased level of effort in both applications for funded research and in funded grants in the areas of sustainability, as well as increased student interest in climate-related projects, both undergraduate and graduate level. For instance, in my own area, I'm having to covering climate effects on water and wastewater treatment systems to improve their resiliency. I'm also supervising 10 senior design teams this semester, and 4 of them are working on directly or indirectly on climate-related projects.
What specific actions or initiatives should UNLV take to reduce the carbon footprint? I know you have one you love.
Actions to reduce carbon footprint.
Yeah, like what do you specifically think UNLV should focus on in the near future?
There are a number of areas. I think improving support for electrified transport, both personal transport and urban transport. Collective transport, mass transit would help. It was positive to hear of the doubling of the number of charging stations. as I know those are hard to come by. Additionally, I think we can work on improved conservation for our lighting and heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems. For the actual specific priorities, I defer to facilities. But there's a lot that's happened on the campus already with conversion to LED lighting, the development of just occupancy sensors in rooms that turn the lights off when no one is there, and those are proliferating. And switching to more efficient air conditioning systems, and also moving away from evaporative cooling and heat exchangers to dry cooling. That has both an effect on water resources, and generally also will lead with modern developments to a more efficient system.
Sure. So data power and the power of networks. So one of the most impressive things I saw, so when I went to grad school at UC Irvine, they have this state-of-the-art building energy analytics system that any university can adopt, and it's called a SkySpark, and I use it now because I have continuing access to it, so I can give my students access to see, this is what building energy analytics looks like. I actually put a YouTube video out there that said, here's how energy efficiency actually works. But really, there's data all around us. I mean, we were talking about heating and ventilation. Well, in all of the lights and the fans and all of the vents, there are systems that can be adopted and implemented that can show the individual, the kilowatt per hour, the temperature, and this has been used successfully at Irvine and other campuses in which they can identify, okay, well, we're wasting energy here because the occupancy sensor is too sensitive and the moth flies in front of it. In the middle of the night, it's wasting power and energy. But that's just one of the many examples of how if we adopt one of those systems, we can use it to really kind of superpower our energy efficiency. It's how universities do it today. There's also the University Climate Change Coalition, UC3. It's a network of R1s, and it is a modern network by which universities that have climate action plans are joining, comparing notes, and multiplying each other's actions through sharing. So there's multiple exciting opportunities to advance our innovation in climate action and accelerate our progress towards our carbon targets.
Thank you, Dr. Lapham. So this last question, and I would ask you if you could address it to both faculty and students.
Oops. Made it angry. What did you do?
You, the two of you, Dr. Sloat, Dr. Cho, and other faculty in the room who have interest in climate action are obviously at the forefront. How would you encourage greater participation on the part of your colleagues and on the part of students to keep and help them become more engaged and ensuring that we achieve the goals of the climate action plan?
I guess a lot of it is, I would say, two areas. First, help faculty and students be aware of the opportunities to get engaged. And this includes, on the research side, funded grant opportunities in the area of all aspects of climate-related research. And also, personally, do you care what happens? Can you turn your own personal feelings, your own personal commitment into research that makes a difference? It's really not about changing minds. It's about changing hearts. So once you've done that, once you've had that impact where someone has that experience, oh my God, this really means something, the rest is easy. And the next is then finding the opportunities. And I'll tell you, for faculty in universities, that does mean money. It means locating money. And there are plenty of opportunities both at federal funding and through foundations, state level funding, private gifts, to get engaged and carry out investigations in all areas on this campus that can develop information that will help us to stop wrecking the planet. First, we have to save the people, as Tara says, but while we're doing that, we can't wreck the planet. Good planets are hard to find. And there is no planet B. This is it. So we need to act as in that manner.
How do we engage faculty and students?
How do we engage faculty and students? In research, I mean, I've run labs before, and partnerships with major green banks and opportunities to advance our research are easier to come by than you think. And my climate finance lab, we did a partnership with Connecticut Green Bank, and now we have performance data, and we're going to publish a study on what drives performance of solar. And the major advancements that can be made and can allow for tech startups, can allow for leaders. You know, there are many inspiring examples in the audience, you know, in the public sector, Olivia Burns, in the private sector, Cassie Snow. And these are examples of people who have, you know, taken their education and are doing real high impact work. And example is an important and powerful thing. I'm very much a quantitative and numbers person, so I'm always happy to get them in front of new numbers, including some of the building energy analytics I talked about. Yes, the IRA itself, which is an amazing feat, the Inflation Reduction Act, right? The money's falling from the heavens, so now climate action planning is very much a fiscal endeavor too. You know, all of that was the result of people who had who started out in an undergrad in environmental studies and that had that, you know, public policy or what have you. They made those dreams real. So realizing just how absolutely important every individual is and what it is that they can achieve is an important thing. And also writing groundbreaking research with faculty in their labs. Those would be my general words of try to inspire students to get more engaged, and the Rebel Climate Action Plan provides a good platform for that as well.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Dr. James, Dr. Leffel. I can see the students and faculty in the audience, and academic and administrative, shaking their heads and agreeing that these are very good ways to engage. We appreciate you both, all of you, for your leadership and all the contributions that you've made thus far. We know that you will take us to the finish point together. Thank you.
Where do you go there? Okay, next steps and closing remarks. No more interesting words were heard, I'm sure, here today. We need your support to help us to reach the right people and to engage as many interest groups as possible. There are many campus community members who are going to be affected by Rebel Cap. We want that effect to be a positive effect. So please help us spread the word. Engage in topic-specific working groups. Please try and learn more from these working groups as we transition into the next area here. We hope you will stick around after this presentation to enjoy some drinks and refreshments and engage with our working group tables and leads. We appreciate you all for everything that you have done thus far to help make this plan happen. We're going to take this baby home. This village is stronger today as a result of your participation and your commitments going forward to continue to participate, to hold us accountable, to make sure that we, in fact, are meeting the goals that we have set out, and we will be publishing interim reports on an annual basis at least to ensure that you can see what progress we're making towards making these things happen. And so the final item is you have a QR code on the screen in front of you where you can sign up to become a member, participate or contribute or give ideas to the various working groups in making sure that the plan is implemented. Please go ahead and scan the QR code, and we'll leave it up throughout the rest of the afternoon. And we thank you for your time and attention and for being part of the Climate Action Plan process. Please give yourselves, all of us, a rousing round of applause. Thank you. Rebels, make it happen. Thank you. Now there'll be some refreshments being served. Please help yourselves and engage with the working group tables. Thank you to everyone.